A flowchart are diagrams represent computer programs. This is already a language which comes with its set of syntactic constraints. What does a syntax mean? Syntax is a form. Semantics is content and meaning. Flowcharts are diagrams which are standardized components such as rectangles, boxes, rectangles, boxes, rounded rectangles, and arrows. We use rectangles to represent actions. Do an action. That's what I gave you here. Or an instruction. Syntax are the rules. Inside the rectangles, the action can be performed. Exactly one outgoing arrow coming from the rectangle, and at least one or two or as many incoming arrows have to go. But like the main rule is that the outgoing arrow is usually one. We use diamonds or for conditional statements. Conditional statements are things such as Boolean uh, branch of mathematics, which represents true or false values, yes or no questions. So true, yes, no, false. Also known as logistic tests, logical inputs. You know, in your programming, you'll have sections in where you want your program to just have a logical test, yes or no output. Inside the rectangle, they can be a yes or no question answered. So I just use a question mark to like represent what it is because we're using pseudocode. So yes or no like usually comes from such questions unless you're asking complicated questions. Exactly one outgoing arrows flows from the diamond, and one is usually labeled yes for true, false for no, and at least one incoming from on top. It doesn't have to be from another triangle. It can be from any other questions that you have. We use arrows to connect boxes, arrows to enforce sequences. When an arrow flows from box 1 into box 2, the action is described by box 1 before, and the action is described by box 2. Syntax: exactly one arrow head at one of the arrows. Arrow line is solid. Okay, I use red. Okay, it's not dashed. Okay, so we use solid lines only. Arrow flowing out, yes or no. You can add, it depends on your questions that you have in your actioned boxes. I'm just using basic box 1, box 2, so there is no like conditions specifying yes or no. Arrows in the flowcharts are made of potentially multiple segments and take and for the sake of readability. Uh and then obviously you have a begin or end statement. So you have begin and then you have an end statement, we represent them by ovals or rounded rectangles. Syntax at most are one begin statement or several end statements. Flowcharts: begin state, exactly one arrow flowing out, or because you're starting your program, you're starting it, right? So you'll just let me say for the end statement here, the end statement, no arrow flowing out, because you're ending your program or like your diagram or whatever it is. So no arrow flowing out and at least one flowing in.